Hey everybody, so today's topic is talking about something that I kind of wanted to take a step back for a minute and kind of ask the question, can the after movie sequel win back the fans? Now, what I'm talking about here is that ever since the after movie came out, fans have been divided. I mean, there's been literally a civil war in the fandom for both sides. I mean, like literally, like one side saying, "Hey, you know what? We got a film. We got our Hessa on screen. I'm happy. You need to do better with the sequel, but I'm happy." And then you have the other side who is pretty much screaming and yelling and saying like, "This is a monstrosity. This thing needs to die. It needs to get away from existence. You need to reboot this. Like you failed this." To quote one of the shows that I watch, "You have failed this franchise." Yeah, I mean, like, there's like a total civil war, like, within the fandom, fighting for the soul of this fandom. And you know what? So that kind of leads me to actually ask the question, can the sequel win back the fans? And I think they can. Because everything that I'm seeing from, some of the decisions that they're making, it proves that they're listening to fans. It proves that they are at least taking steps to try to fix some of the issues that fans had. Now, of course, here comes part of the issues. It will be 2020 or 2021 by the time that this film comes out, and the truth of the matter is that you will never be able to do some things in 2020 or 2021 whenever it comes out. Just like with some of the how can I put this? Some of the subject matter, like you'll just never be able to translate that to screen. But a lot of it you can. That's why I'm hoping that fans will kind of like, or at least the fans who have kind of turned away from this thing, I'm hoping that they'll at least take a little bit of a step back, take a deep breath and at least see where the sequel goes, and at least give the sequel a chance. Because again, I really do think that Hero finds Tiffin and especially Josephine Langford. I think they deserve a sequel. They deserve a second chance. They deserve a real chance to portray these characters, because you know what, they did a fantastic job, and I wish that that was something that the fans who just absolutely vitriolically hate this thing would understand. Because like I said in the video saying no, they should not reboot this. um if they reboot the film, because like a lot of what a lot of people don't seem to understand is that if they reboot this, then the actors go away, then they completely recast the film or a TV show or however they do it. I mean, it's a complete recast. I mean, that is the whole point of a reboot. So yeah, I mean, and also I will say this, that I've never seen something in my life where something has actively pushed away the fans, where something where you should be going toward the fans actively push them away with a lot of the decisions that they made. And again, one of the reasons why that happened is gone from the sequel. Jenny Gage is gone. And people have asked the question, or some people have asked the questions, like, should she have been fired? Or should she have been let go? Like she could not have been the only one making these decisions. She could not, have been the only one doing this stuff. Like, is it really fair just to let her go? And of course, I made another video saying who else I think should be let go from this film, from the sequel, which other two people I think should be let go. But the reason why I called for Jenny Gage's firing is really, it goes back to that article that I read you guys in that video, like how the after movie came to be made. It really goes back to that article, and it goes back to like this one paragraph that will never leave me, and I always remember this paragraph, where it said that Hero finds Tiffin did not want Hardin's personality to change. Anna Todd did not want Hardin's personality to change. Josephine Langford did not want Hardin's personality to change. And they all got overruled by Jenny Gage. So yes, she was the one who was making these final decisions, and it really does seem like a lot of the decisions come back to her, because the original script writer of the film, she made it more like the book. Sure, it was changed a little bit. Sure, it was like fixing some issues that you would run into in 2019, or doing this like in 2019, or even shooting this in like 2018. But again, like the original script was closer to the book. But once Jenny Gage came on, she brought her own screenwriter on, Tom Betterton, and then all of a sudden, like, everything started to change, and all of a sudden it went completely to where we have it now. And again, so yes, that's why I think that she should get fired. Why I completely stood behind them either, mutually agreeing that hey, maybe she shouldn't come back, or straight up firing her. That's why I called for her firing, because of that article that basically, and I even said this back in the video as I was reading this article, just that like this entire article just seemed like an entire 10 paragraph, like an entire article that was pretty much giving them reasons to fire her, or reasons why she should be let go. I mean, the article should have just been renamed "Why We Need to Let Jenny Gage Go from This Franchise." I mean, because essentially that's what the article was, or at least that's what the article read to me after a certain point. But again, the big question of this video is talking about like, can they win back the fans? And I think they can, because again, it proves that they are listening to the fans. They are listening to where the criticisms are, and they are attempting to fix them. Now, when the film actually gets officially greenlit, I will make other videos talking about some issues that or like some issues that I'll have if they do a complete 180, or if they completely switch stuff around, with continuity issues, character issues and everything. I'll talk a little bit about that once it officially gets the green light, because again, that's what we're all waiting on. And that's why, I'm sure some of you watch these videos and feel like, you're really spinning your wheels here. You're really just like coming up of, with crap out of, thin air to talk about. Well, that's because we do not have an official green light yet on the sequel, because we do not really we are sitting here on our hands, waiting for that official green light. And I'm not in panic mode yet. I mean, I know like some people have asked, like, what do you honestly think are the percentages of a sequel being greenlit? I'm still sticking with 90%. 90% positive that a sequel is going to be greenlit. I'm not in panic mode yet. I mean, because again, the film just came out a month ago. I mean, I'm not really in panic mode yet. I know I was really, silly, kind of sounding like I was, especially comparing it to the Mortal Instruments. The Mortal Instruments is more of something, is a more visually effects heavy movie that I think they would have to go into production, or at least start working on it, almost immediately, or like even like go into like pre-production almost immediately. After is something that I think like the first film was shot in 2 months, if I'm not mistaken. I think like I've seen some people say that over and over again, that the first film was shot in about 2 months. So I don't see the second one being shot any longer than that, or maybe even like a little over 2 months. There really is no reason to panic yet. I mean, I can guarantee you they're still working on that script. And as much as I talk about it, I don't know if they have a director yet. I'm still waiting to hear who that unnamed male screenwriter is, because I'm wondering if that's the reason why they haven't named the screenwriter yet, or that male screenwriter is because like somebody like me who might know the industry, or who might, more recognized names from the industry might immediately say, oh, I know him as a director. I barely know him as a writer, but I know him as a director. So then it's like, uh-oh. Yeah, no, I've said this in many videos. I think that these films should stay with female directors. I don't think that this should ever become another one of those films that switches back over to, have like a woman direct that first film and then immediately jump over to a guy directing the rest of the films. And, like one person even like offhandedly said in like the comments of one of these videos that, oh, they do that because they want to bring men in, or they want to bring the male audience in. I can only speak for myself. I cannot speak for other men, but at least for myself, I have never paid attention to the gender of a director. I've always applauded and shouted, "Yes, queen!" Whenever I see like a female director succeed, but I've never really paid attention to that. To the point of like if I see a woman directing, then I won't go. No, I've never said that. I'll just go see a movie if I like the trailer or not, or if the film speaks to me. If the film appeals to me, I'll go. And that can be through the trailer, through reading about it, through because again, I really do look at the behind the scenes. I look at like things that I don't think the normal person does. Whoa, let me catch my breath there because I really fell out of breath there for a minute. But yeah, I don't really look at the gender of the director. I really just look at, hey, does this film look good or not? And I'll decide about going to go see the film like that. But again, I can't speak for other men, but at least for this guy, I don't look at the gender. I mean, that's never been a deciding factor to me on whether or not I go see a film. So yeah, and also I'm going to be painfully honest with you guys. The chances of them getting a male audience in to see this thing has passed a long time ago. Especially when you look at the books. I mean, with the books and everything. I mean, like you've passed the male audience a long time ago. And I'm not saying like, just like I never said that, oh, women can only like this one thing or men can only like this one thing. Yeah, no, look, I'm a guy and I love this franchise. Here I am talking incessantly about this franchise on this channel. So yeah, like I get it. Like, hey, men can like, different things. Women can like different things too. But again, it just like, I don't think that they're ever going to be able to pull in, a 50-50 audience. I think it's always going to be, over, I mean, in the percentage wise, I think that women are always going to be the dominating percentage with this franchise. It's never going to be men, to be honest with you. Nor should it be. Because I really always do say that, I think that especially, and this is why I think, a woman should continue to do this, because again, women are so underrepresented in terms of film, in terms of directing, in terms of everything, including some some stuff that's going on in the country right now. So it's like, yeah, I always do applaud it. Yeah, that's why I kind of want this thing to stick with a female director, because again, this is inherently a woman's story. Tessa is literally our main female character, like one of our main points of view. Sure, in the second book, it does switch back and forth between Hardin's point of view and Tessa's point of view, but it really is, Tessa is really our main focal point, because I do lose count at like how many chapters in the read-throughs that I'm doing where I'm reading in her voice as opposed to his. There are because like even her chapters are usually, really long, and his are like 1 or 2 pages. So yeah, I think that this story is mainly told from the female perspective. I think that this story, it's written by a woman. It's mainly has like a female audience. I think that it should continue to stick with female directors. I want to be able to say that this is like one of the first franchise, or one of the few franchises that started with a female director and ended with a female director, because that's just becoming way too sadly the norm. Just the norm. I know like I'm getting off on about 50 million different things here, and I know like the entire idea behind this was, can the after movie bring back the audience, the fans? Like, can they win back the fans? And this was like the long-winded way of me saying, yes, they can. Yes, they can. If those fans are willing to give it a chance, if the fans are willing to kind of put this first film aside for a second, really look at like what they're trying to do with the sequel, because it really does seem like they really are listening to the fans. It really does seem like they are at least making an attempt to try to, fix all the issues that people have had, or at least the issues that they can fix. Because again, and this is what worries me, and I think I'll talk a little bit more in depth about this at some point, but this is what worries me. I want them to listen to the fans. I do, because again, the fans are the reason why these books exist. The fans are the reasons why the books were so popular. But if they listen to the wrong fans, if they listen to the fans who they never would have been happy no matter what. Unless you got a line by line, beat by beat, 6-hour movie, like page by page, just like a complete faithful adaptation, 100% faithful adaptation, you're never going to get them. You're never going to make them happy. But the fans who are willing to accept the changes, but who can still say, hey, by the way, you shouldn't have changed his personality. His personality is something very important about it. I can tell you that that's something very important about it, because I have lost count at how many times during the read-throughs that I have lost my voice reading it. Literally screaming at the top of my lungs playing him. And you'll see more of that on Sunday when I post the video. for that read through. Again, I'm losing count at how many times I'm losing my voice doing these read throughs, and reading in his voice. So yeah, that personality is a big thing, and I think that that was something that I was missing from the first film. Another thing is that another legitimate criticism is that hey, you left out certain things that Zed and Tessa. Like there is like this sort of like triangle here of Zed, Tessa, and Hardin, and you barely made Zed a character to the point that I took somebody with me to go see the film. And when I told her, to name, the characters in the movie, but I pretty much put that asterisks with, oh, but you actually have to say their names. You cannot say the words British guy, main girl, tattoo artist, bitch, roommate, lesbian, other guy, black guy, mom, and ex-boyfriend. You cannot say any of that. And Zed is the one that I said for the other guy. And again, she couldn't do that. So again, I think that that's a little bit of a problem that the first film had, is that literally like all the characters were interchangeable. They weren't really characters in the first film. Nobody really got any type of story arc. Nobody really got any type of characterization other than Tessa and Hardin. And I know like some people are going to say, oh, but you said British guy and, main girl. So they did. Yeah, the characterization is something that got lost in the first one. And I do think that they're going to have to work on that in the sequel. But yeah, I think that they can win back the fans. I don't think that as much as the fans are screaming and yelling right now, I think that for the majority of them, they want to see this succeed. So if you give them enough examples, if you give them enough of an assurance that you are actually making these changes, that you are trying to fix where the first film went wrong, then I do think that you can get back the fans. I do think that the fans are not completely, gone. But again, they have to remember that. They have to remember, they really do have an uphill battle to climb with the second one, and I hope that they succeed, because I really do want to see this series succeed. I really do want to see this series make money. I want to see the series, go to the conclusion, even though they said there's only going to be like 3 movies. I think Anna Todd said there's only going to be like 3 movies. So yeah, jump down to the comment section below. Let me know what you think. As always, thank you so much for watching. Remember, this channel could not grow to the area, to the degree that it has without you guys. So I want to say thank you to my Afternators. If you like what you see here, remember, these read-throughs that I've been doing are a daily upload. So if you love the read-throughs, if you want to continue to see the read-throughs, subscribe to keep up with that, because like I said, those will be daily uploads, barring any type of personal illnesses or issues. I keep subscribed to this channel, for all the updates concerning the After We Collided movie, because once we get that official green light, I will, bring you guys updates on filming, on photos, on everything related to that film. If you just want to subscribe, hey, if you just like the videos, and just remember that like every day, or maybe like every other day, I might find a topic, about After that I might talk about, or about anything. I just might find, a topic about After like this. I might find a question or something, and I might make a video talking about that subject. So if you want to keep up with those, go ahead and subscribe as well. And remember, I'll see you later, Afternators. Take care, y'all.